What's up, everybody? So, for today's video, we're gonna be checking out new Jurassic. Oh shit!
Shout out to Henry. He edited the shit out of our last video.
My bad.
He's gonna be
Okay, my bad, everybody. So, for today's video, we're gonna be checking out new Jurassic World movie, Oscar nominations, reaction, Netflix, Avatar trailer, and more. Without further ado, let's check this shit out. Ready? 3, 2, 1, boom.
You'll never forget the anniversary when it's easy to get flowers.
Fuck DoorDash. Hold up.
Peeps, thank you so much for clicking on this video. We've got movie news to discuss, so let's get into it. Some of the things we're going to be discussing here today, guys, is I'll quickly give you my thoughts on the Oscar nominations. We got the release of Netflix's Avatar and the Last Airbender, along with the announcement that a new Jurassic World movie is headed our way. Really, that alone so much more, so leave your thoughts down below, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and well, let's jump into our first thing here today, starting off with the trailer for the live-action Avatar and the Last Airbender. Now, a lot of you guys have been highly anticipating this, and a lot of us still have a sour taste in our mouths from the last live-action interpretation of this franchise, but everything from this 2-minute and 30-second trailer only gives me the highest of hopes. This thing looks like a major upgrade from what we got last time. It's kind of insane to me how different TV shows are made nowadays. It wasn't that long ago that, like 10 years ago, a TV show, it was pretty much expected that it would look lower budget, that it wouldn't look as big as the movies. Now you have TV shows that have budgets that rival movies. And here with Avatar and the Last Airbender, it looks like they spent every pretty penny. Now, I occasionally watch an episode here and there. I wouldn't consider myself the biggest Avatar fan. Something like this is definitely up my alley because they'll get some of the basic, bigger stories out of the way. But I am very curious to see how this all comes together. My one hesitation is remembering that the creators of Avatar and the Last Airbender, they quit in the making of this show. They had some sort of disagreement with Netflix and the way they were running the show. I'm curious if fans will be able to notice what that major disagreement is, or maybe this will just turn out to be another major success, because lately Netflix has been doing quite well with their live-action adaptations. Overall, though, this looks good to me. I'm curious to see what you guys think about it. Then from there, the other big thing that everybody was discussing here today is the nominations for the Oscars were let out. Now, I'm someone that doesn't do a lot of Oscar or high-caliber movie talk on here. Sometimes I feel like that's out of my league. I like to just get excited about the random popcorn adventure movie, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. But even though I don't talk about it much here on the channel, I check out all the Oscar-nominated movies. I look into the performances. I actually do get into this. And so with the nominations they revealed here today, I did have a couple of thoughts. For one, I was really happy to see that Godzilla Minus One did get a nomination, not for Best International Film, but for Best Visual Effects. It was put there in a category alongside The Creator, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Mission Impossible, and Napoleon. A good little group, but I'm just so happy to see that Godzilla Minus One got some sort of recognition, because the VFX definitely blew me away, and it was also nice to see that video online of the creative team getting so excited with their little Godzilla toys right there, man. When looking at like the best animated features, I was surprised to see that TMNT did not make it on the list. Very happy though that Nimona did. That's one I highly recommend to you if you have not seen it. That was one of my biggest surprises of last year when I checked it out, and you know what? I'm hoping Across the Spider-Verse takes the win here, although I feel like it's gonna be The Boy and the Heron. And you know, Discussing Films actually put together a really great list of the things a lot of people were complaining when the Oscar nominations were let out. Things like no Leonardo DiCaprio or Zac Efron for Best Actor. And yeah, that's definitely something that stands out. No Iron Claw nominations whatsoever. Not for the movie, not for the actors and their performances, and oh, that stings. A lot of people say it was because that movie just came out a little too late and not a lot of the voters got to see it in time, but Zac Efron deserves some sort of nomination, man. Not just for the acting, but for the physical performance and what he put his body through. That has to account for something. Also, a lot of people were seeing a lot of Barbie snubs here, with like Greta Gerwig not being added to the Best Director category. And if you look at the rest of the things that Barbie was added onto, it's so weird that Greta Gerwig did not get that nom, but I didn't think it was going to matter all that much because we know Christopher Nolan's taking that category. Same thing when like it comes to the Best Picture category. A lot of good movies in there, not many surprises. I felt like everyone mainly expected these films to be on there. I would have liked Iron Claw, but that didn't happen. But either way, not going to matter because Oppenheimer is taking it. It's going to be curious to see how many wins Oppenheimer gets, because I feel like it's going to sweep this year at the Oscars. I don't know. That was
No,
just some of
bro.
my thoughts from
No,
this
bro.
nomination. It'll be interesting to
No.
see who wins,
Why?
who gets a steal. But what are
Yeah,
your
what the
guys'
fuck?
thoughts on the Oscar
What the
noms?
fuck?
Moving on here, we got a plot detail
Yo,
revealed
the
online
story
for the
about
upcoming
Barton, man,
live-action Lion
it's
King
Oscar-worthy.
prequel titled Mufasa. And I gotta say,
I
I'm
didn't even see
extremely
Barton,
mixed
bro,
on the
and it was just
direction
like,
of
what
this
the
movie.
fuck?
So going here with the plot they have, they say, after a terrible flood separates the young lion Mufasa from his parents, his life is saved by another lion cub named Taka. Mufasa and Taka grow up like brothers, but years later, the lions are almost grown. Another group of dangerous lions threatens the existence of them, and Mufasa and Taka have to flee together. There they encounter both new allies and many dangers, and their loyalty to each other is also put to the test, because which of them is really destined to rule as the Lion King, and at what price? That definitely sounds like a plot right there. It seems like it has the makings to be a grand adventure. Although I wasn't a big fan of the live action interpretation of The Lion King because it just didn't hit emotionally the same as the 2D animated version. There's definitely things in here that I could see working, especially with Barry Jenkins as the director. But we know the ending of this story and we know where it's headed towards. And I felt like that was a lot of the complaints we were seeing online. Like obviously this Taka character is Scar. And also that line about who is destined to be the Lion King. Spoiler alert, it's Mufasa. But hopefully there's something here where it makes it worthwhile and the emotions can hit better than they did the first time around. You guys hear this plot for the upcoming Lion King prequel, Mufasa?
Oh my God, here we go. Kimberly calculated from the beginning, how do I become famous?
This is your grandson.
Do you like it? Moving on here, I want to talk a little bit about the upcoming Daredevil series on Disney Plus, Born Again, because man, they have changed things around. So if you haven't been keeping up with the Daredevil news, and I don't blame you, a lot of us could care less now about these Disney Plus shows, I was still very curious to see what they would do with Daredevil Born Again, because for the longest time, it was known that it was a soft reboot of the character. Although you're bringing back Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, it was always kind of hinted that it wouldn't be the same universe as the Netflix series. Well, recently, a lot of things have happened, and Kevin Feige was just not loving the quality of the Disney Plus shows, along with a lot of the fans. That's then where they fired the previous team. They had filmed 6 episodes, and they're going to end up scrapping a couple of the episodes. We're going to start back from the beginning, and now it's looking more and more likely like this Daredevil Born Again show is just Daredevil Season 4. They confirmed when Echo came out that the Netflix shows are now all canon to the MCU and are part of the world. We gotten reports that both Foggy and Karen are going to be coming back to the show when originally they were going to be killed off screen in the new series. Today, it just got announced that Wilson Bethel will be returning as Bullseye. He was the villain left alive in Season 3. This is kind of a crazy turnaround for Daredevil, and when you really start to think about it, it's a super smart decision by Disney and Marvel. The reason for the longest time people like me and others were telling you it's a soft reboot, it's just not going to go that way, and even Kevin Feige and Marvel were doing it, it was because for a while that Netflix show was on Netflix. And heck, even when people reference that Daredevil show, they call it the Netflix show. So it always seemed counterproductive for Marvel to make a direct sequel to that series when it feels like you would just be promoting Netflix. But now that Disney actually owns those shows, they are on their platform, I think they finally realized the value of it. Now when you make this a full Season 4 continuation, what does that mean? That means you're going to have so many fans that are now going to have to go back and watch 3 seasons of an already made and produced show that's sitting on your Disney Plus platform. And what do streaming services love? Watch time, people jumping on. I think they found a great loophole to take advantage of that both made the fans happy and made Marvel happy. Now, if they meet the quality of that show, that's a whole different thing. I'm hopeful that they do. I mean, there was even a report that they brought back the same fight choreography team from the Daredevil show for this new series. Even with the Punisher being included in it, there's going to be elements where they reference his Netflix Punisher show. I'm just having a lot of hopes here, and it's just kind of crazy to see how much Marvel has turned around on not wanting to connect this to the Netflix series. This is then where I throw it off to you guys. You hear how much the Daredevil show has changed from what they once thought they were going to do to now just kind of following in the footsteps of Netflix. Good idea, bad idea. And well, that brings us into the news that we got surprisingly yesterday, that we are getting a new Jurassic World movie. Revealed here by the Hollywood Reporter, they say, new Jurassic World movie in the works with David Koepp writing. Now, if you don't know, David Koepp is actually the one who wrote the first two Jurassic Park movies. That's the original one with Steven Spielberg and The Lost World, the sequel. Two movies that I think most people would argue are probably the best of the Jurassic Park series. In the article, they also state that they've actually been working on this script and story for a while now, that it's deep into production, and specifically saying here, the project has been flying under the radar, is far enough along, and the script is in well-like shape that the studio is whispering of a possible 2025 release date. So they're far enough along where shooting for this movie is going to begin looking like this summer, and it'll be released next year, which it's still crazy to hear 2025 is next year. To me, that still sounds like so far away. And then here's where we get into some of the confusing details about the movie, because they say it is unclear what form the relaunch is taking. It is known to be launching a new Jurassic era, per sources, with an all-new storyline that would seem to rule out the return of characters played by Jurassic World star Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, and it seems characters featured in the original Jurassic Park movies, played by Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum, would not be involved. So that's kind of the thing here. Although they announced this movie as being a new Jurassic World movie, we're kind of 50-50 here on whether it's a reboot or a continuation of what they've already set up. What seems pretty clear though is that like Chris Pratt and those characters from the last movie are not coming back. But what I mean by continuation of that world is it could be a sequel to what they've already set up, a world
like
full
with
of
just different
dinosaurs, them
characters?
left and right, living amongst us, and a new story with new characters there. And I gotta be honest, I don't think I would love that idea. Jurassic World Dominion was one of those movies that really disappointed me as a Jurassic Park fan. I've always loved this franchise, but I just have no idea how the latest trilogy blew the idea of dinosaurs everywhere, and it just wasn't that interesting. Jurassic Park became one of those franchises that used to be known for having horror thrilling elements, but then ended up becoming an action franchise, where the latest movie felt like Fast and Furious with dinosaurs. So part of me would kind of hope that it would just be a soft reboot going back to the park idea, because I felt like that's what was always best, right? I love that first movie. I even like the first Jurassic World because of the theme park element. I don't think you have to take the story so grand where you're cloning girls and then military trained dinosaurs and whatnot. I felt like it stretched itself in a way where Jurassic Park wasn't meant to go. Still, we'll have to wait and see here. They're obviously calling it Jurassic World, so it seems like it'll be a continuation of the dinosaur world, but I throw it off to you guys. What would you like to see be done in a new Jurassic Park movie? Anyways, guys,
Damn, bro. On some real ass shit though. Man, bro, I don't really know if they should do another Jurassic World movie. If they do, I don't know, man. Just make it a whole new thing, bro. Just I feel like, bro, they should go back to the horror element of Jurassic World. You know what I mean? Just don't have it just be like all this action. That shit is fucking weird, bro. Dude, that's why the first one worked. That's why they made a second one. Come on now. Anyways, man, if you guys like my reaction to this, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out, motherfuckers.